everybody to Clueless Vino, the show where we use wine as a vehicle for conversation, and it's the only place you can drink and drive. Today, I have a special guest, and I'm actually at an appointment. I have my good friend Tameka here, man. What's up, man?
Nothing. Hey, guys.
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
It's Monday.
Well, yeah, that's the only bad thing about it. But this is the part where I usually let the guests kind of tell the people about yourself, so the floor is yours, man.
Well, my name is Tameka once again. Born and raised in Richmond. I do have a twin sister. And, I'm just living day by day.
Yeah.
YOLO it, too. Like, you only live once, so
that is right.
Try to live every day like it's my last. Life is short.
Life is short.
Yeah.
One of my favorite YouTube guys says we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Hello.
Yeah, so I like that. I like that.
Right.
That's the one that I keep forgetting to tell you. I forgot to tell you. Normally, I do like a whole spiel before we start doing this, recording. And one of them is, I don't care about cussing or nothing like that on the show or whatever.
Okay.
The only thing I ever care about is like, you understand where you work at, and if you understand where we work at,
right.
So just never say the name of that place, then we're good.
Well, I'm not even talking about that place, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, because, we met there or whatever.
Right, they get our 8 hours and that's it.
Right.
But yeah, alright, so we met there. So you came on our team when?
2016.
2016. Let's see, I'm trying to remember what I don't know how often you get it, but I was very intimidated by you first impression.
Really?
Because you didn't do the whole smiling thing. Like your whole thing was just like, I made it work and that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was giving off. Gave that off for several years. Kind of learned from it. You're not the first person to say that that's how I came across.
Yeah.
But I just, wanted people to not try to play with me like that.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm definitely not to be played with. I come to do, my job. But as you got to know me, you see, that was just an outside work type of thing. So now I try, or at least when we were in the office pre-COVID, try to smile a little bit more and not just come off so hard looking in the face where people think I'm unapproachable.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what was the moment where we could pinpoint exactly when we started hanging out. It was probably some after work thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
And then once I started, because I like to test the limits to see a person well, in work they're one way. Let's just see how they are outside of work. And I think it was probably you had two drinks. I was like, oh yeah, no, this is fine.
Double fist.
Yeah, I was like double fist to me.
Sure.
That's fine. I was like, okay, no, this is how she at work, and that's fine. I get that because I come to do a job, bro. I wasn't initially there to make friends or whatever. You could pick up something on the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I quickly understood oh no, she alright, she cool. She mad cool actually.
Yeah.
Did you have any first impressions of me?
Not really. You're so tall, so
sure.
Everybody would notice you.
Right.
Back then, I don't know if you were I won't say quote unquote free form locking, but your locks were short and kind of wild.
Yeah.
They look really nice. But you definitely didn't give off what I gave off. I thought that you were cool. Nobody, once I got over there, it was there wasn't any issues with you and I.
Right.
So I thought you were cool, and you're right. We started vibing once we hung out outside of work, and I think hanging out at a spot we would go to.
Yeah, and I think that definitely helped with
that helped with a lot of maybe relationships, because if you thought I was intimidated and other people did too. Once I went there, they were like, oh, so this is two sides,
And and it's crazy because there's probably still some people that probably still have the original thought of you,
right,
because they don't have the access to you outside of work.
Right. Right.
But I think that's important too, man. I always stress the importance of like, work and like a home life.
Right.
Because
right.
you give them a little bit of part of like your personality, but you don't gotta give them the full thing.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Definitely don't have to give them everything.
Right. So I think that's a smart and important thing for you to do, man.
Yeah.
But one of the things I did learn about you is that you did do locks, and the reason I ended up getting locks, like I was cool with just doing like the afro thing, because like you said, my hair was like wild.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like crazy, but it was.
No, it was wild in a good way.
Mm-hmm. And they were, but every other day it's like, what are you gonna do with your hair? I was like, I just got tired of the question.
Okay.
And then I found out that you did locks. I was like, all right, well I'll just go to Tameka. Tameka can hold me down.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been doing it since then.
Yeah. We had to, kind of comb that first batch out a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to try to make them as uniform as possible. And so you're right. That's definitely what happened. And I do it as a hobby because I like to do hair. So I definitely didn't mind. I know y'all see all this hair he has, but I'm about to start. So like for me, as far as hair is concerned, and how it all got started and all of that was I can't really pinpoint the age, but I'd probably say maybe around 9 or 10.
Really?
Not that I started, but I started getting interested in hair. So me and my sister would go get our hair done. I would pay very close attention to what the stylist was doing to her hair.
Right.
And so I would go home. Back then we had Cabbage Patch dolls.
Right.
And when I was coming up, finger waves were the style.
Yeah. Now explain that to people who might not understand what finger waves
So
are.
finger waves, pretty much you're gonna have permed hair, and it is kind of a wave effect you do with your phone, with a comb, red tip comb in your finger, and kind of make waves with different styles. Short hair, you can have long hair, get waves into like a French bun.
Okay.
Different things like that. So that was what was out during the time. Cheers.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
As soon as we get done with that, I'll go ahead and tell them what it is.
Okay. So you couldn't really use your mother's products to play like that. So
Nah, I feel like you get in trouble. Like immediately.
right. So what I would do was I would just use shampoo.
Okay.
And of course that means I had a Cabbage Patch hair that had fake real hair, not like the yawn hair, not like the first set of Cabbage Patch that came out. So I would just shampoo it and use the comb of my finger, and I learned how to finger wave.
Oh, that's crazy.
So that's kind of how I started. Not of course, but a lot of times as a little girl, you learn how to do a twist or a plait. So I already knew how to do that, but eventually I learned how to cornrow hair, and I could cornrow my own hair straight back cornrows. And a lot of people that do hair can't really do that as far as braiding their own hair. They can't really do styles. But so I did that. So once I felt like I was good enough, I started to do my own finger waves, my own scrunches, my own French rolls. I was doing my sister's hair.
Yeah.
In high school, and we would still go to the shop every now and again, but I could hold us down in between.
Right.
So that's kind of what happened, and that's kind of what was happening. I was doing her hair and my hair only. So I go to college, and
Go ahead and shout them out.
so I went to ODU, go Monarchs, but I also took some time off and finished at VCU, go Rams. But like
two
ODU,
schools that rival
right.
each other. You were
but
sick.
ODU was like my stomping grounds. I really loved it. That's where I spent a lot, or most of my college life there. That's where I have a lot of my college friends, because by the time I went to VCU, I was commuting. When I was at ODU, I was on campus. So, of course, like all broke students are, if they find out you can do hair, people want you to do it.
Of course.
So my roommate, she could do. Then sew-ins was out, and people wearing cornrows, and guys was wearing a lot of cornrows.
Right.
So my roommate, she could sew in hair. She could do like fake nails, but she couldn't braid. So I started off just cornrowing hair, so she could go ahead and, sew in the weave.
Yeah. And
then once the guys figured out I knew how to braid, I was doing a bunch of cornrow styles on several different guys or whatever. And then.
And so what year is this? So I can try to pinpoint.
What year?
Yeah.
So I started. Tell my age. I started ODU August of '96. So I would probably say I probably started doing hair maybe that semester a little bit, or the semester after.
I'm trying to figure out what celebrities was really big in the cornrows at that time. Because that's a little bit before AI started.
I don't know, but I can tell you what music was kind of out there.
Okay, yeah.
So, No Limit was all over.
Mm-hmm.
We love No Limit.
Master P and the boys.
Master P. Mr. Cheeks, what was his,
Oh my God.
They were out.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about when we were clubbing and the music we would listen to. I'm trying to think, because I went hard for No Limit. So, and Go-Go, but you can't really use that as far as who was out and what styles. But it was the late 90s, so people were still rocking cornrows.
Yeah. I was thinking, because this is that's right before AI started doing his. AI hadn't started doing his, but I feel like that's when cornrows really started to because then white boys were getting cornrows. And that's when that's white moms all over the country were like, yo, what is going on with my son?
Right. So, Biggie, Puff. Oh yeah, because now I'm remembering that we would do videos with the music behind. So Puff, Kim, that whole era was out.
Yep.
All of that was out then, but they weren't wearing cornrows.
No.
Not him.
Probably some people in the crew though, probably.
Yeah. But not even anybody from Junior Mafia that I remember. I can't think of who else was out then. But yeah, Puff was on everything pretty much.
For sure. He kind of dominated those late 90s.
Yeah, definitely he did.
And so you were in, you started with the cornrows, and then the guys realized, you could do them, so they were probably coming to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they were coming to me, several of them, and then, like I said, I would cornrow the girls' hair for the weaves, and then what happened was I think people started wanting braid style. So I really for the girls, rarely would I do just their regular hair straight backs, but it was a girl that I would do a braid style in the front, and then I would do a ponytail, and it would be some wavy hair in the back.
Okay, yeah.
So I did that. She liked that style. I did that for her for a long time, and then because I wasn't using hair weave at that time, but then a girl was like, "Can you do my hair in cornrows with hair in it?" And I was like, "Yo, I've never did it, but I'm game to try it. I already knew how to cornrow." And back then, for me, I think when I got to school in '96, and this is not when it started, but this is when it's kind of jumped off, people were starting to get email addresses. So the internet was out, but it wasn't being used as it is now.
We're still kind of early and trying to figure out
what's going on. It was early, and it was
on.
still trying to figure it out. So it wasn't like I went to YouTube and I saw a video.
Correct.
That wasn't happening then. It just wasn't, just to be honest. So she asked me to do it. I did it, got it on the first try, and it was on and popping.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at myself. And so that's kind of what happened, and I've been doing hair ever since. So I would say I started doing hair around 11 or 12.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. So that you had mad experience.
Yeah, on certain things, pretty much it was between finger waves, cornrows, ponytails, a couple of sew-ins. I really wouldn't prefer to do straight hair sew-ins. It would really be something that was curly or wavy.
Yeah.
Because back then, people have closures where all their hair is braided up and nothing is out. Back then, people had leave out, so you had to leave some hair out to cover the tracks.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's interesting, just because you took the interest so early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you try to, imitate it on like your dolls and stuff. So like
Right.
that's mad cool that you were able to take that
Mm-hmm.
and then parlay it into something that you still use today. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So what kind of wine do we have? If you could just like pass me the bottle when you get a chance.
Where is it?
Dang,
Oh,
where
sorry.
did it go?
I put it in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, because you like the. We got. I definitely got to ask about that in a minute. We got Caspana is what I'm going to call this. It's a Spanish style red from California. Yeah, it has Spanish influence. I'm trying to see. Is this rich red blend delivers profound food friendliness and powerful aging ability? And it says it's 47% Tempranillo, which both of us have not heard before.
Right.
But 28% Cab Sauv, 18 Merlot, and 7% Malbec. What did you think of it?
Well, let me just be honest.
Uh-huh.
Like, sometimes I really love the taste of wine. Sometimes it's not my thing,
Mhm.
but I drink for a purpose to get lit, so I'm pretty much gonna drink anything.
I love that honesty.
Just honest. And I prefer a red over a white, but if white
Okay.
is what we got, then that's what I'm rocking with.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess let's start at this point. You like your reds cold?
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
Well, let's just say, of course, when I started to drink, which was in college before I was 21.
Sure. I mean, that's usually everybody's story.
You know, no one was drinking wine. We were just drinking straight liquor. Really wasn't even drinking beer like that, although I drank all three.
Right. Holy
So,
trifecta.
right. So wine would always be the last on my list once I started consuming all three.
Gotcha.
However, I do now like wine, like going to wineries, things of that sort. Anyway, I was over one of my girlfriend's house, and she was drinking red, and I even knew then that red is supposed to be drank at room temperature.
Yeah.
She had ice in it, and I was drinking mine at room temperature, and I was thinking like, I want mine cold too.
Yeah.
So she was the one who influenced me putting ice, and that's how it goes. Even if I'm doing a wine tasting or at a winery, if they have ice and I'm drinking red, I'm asking for a cupid.
Okay.
Honestly.
Did they ever give you like a weird look?
Yeah, kind of. And sometimes the wineries don't have ice because they don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if there's one thing I know is that you do not care.
No, I don't.
But yeah, you do you say wine's at the bottom of your list, but you do, you
They're now they're not necessarily at the bottom
Okay.
of my list. Just depending on what kind of diet I'm on.
Sure.
Currently I'm in between no diet and keto. To be honest, so
Fair.
with keto, I can't really have the wine, which
Right.
is why I have several bottles here.
Right.
So that kind of stops me from drinking it as more regular as I could because I have a bunch of wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll drink it all.
Okay.
I'll drink it all.
Yeah. So, like, I've been to Cooper's Hall once to do like a wine tasting,
Mm-hmm.
and I enjoyed it. I was in Florida with my family, wife's family, or whatever.
Okay.
When we went, and I had a good time. The food there is crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So good.
The food was crazy.
So good. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And I but you're a member
Yeah.
of Cooper's Hall, and
Yes.
so it seems like you have you definitely enjoy wine now.
How I ended up being a member was about 3 or 4 years ago. One of my good friends from high school took me and my sister out for our birthday, along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was 8 of us.
Okay.
So he took us to Cooper's Hall for our birthday. Very, very nice guy. He ended up treating us to dinner, and he brought me and my sister. We share a membership together. So the membership we have is, and I don't know how much it costs,
Yeah.
but the membership we have, we can get 2 tastings a month,
Mm-hmm.
and we can get 2 bottles of wine under $21, $22 a month free.
Okay.
And so they have Lux. So if we wanted the Lux, we just pay the difference between whatever our base
Right.
amount is. So that's how we started. And Yeah, we loved it. He paid for it for several years, a lot of years. Probably most of the years. I think we just took it over last year sometime.
Okay.
And he was even willing to put it back on because I think his credit card had expired or something.
Got you.
Because it was just auto doing. And my sister was like, no, that's okay. We'll handle it from here. But he was going to put it back on. But yeah, that's how we got introduced to it.
That's dope though.
Yeah.
I like, cause I know I did. What did I do? What the heck is that place called? Oh, Naked Wines.
Oh.
I did Naked Wines for a little bit.
Okay.
And they say like you can buy both wines, like boxes, like 13 bottles of wine for like $60 or something like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, that's pretty dope or whatever. So I like doing those, because you get different varieties, you to try different things. So
right.
and and that's the thing about wines, like there's so many different types,
right,
and like different ways of doing it, like different ways of aging them, and
right.
so it's always a different case with every bottle. So I think that's the cool thing about those.
Right.
Growing up with a twin, how's that?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's probably like any other sister relationship. We just happen to share DNA, and sometimes look very, very much alike, even though we are identical. And identical doesn't really mean that you're identical.
Right.
But we are identical in looks. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we look different. If the hair is the same, it'll look similar. But I can't really say that it's anything other than me having a sister because it's only me and her.
Got you. Okay.
We never played tricks on anybody. At the most, when you're young and you're talking to guys on the phone and you just get tired of talking, I pass her the phone. Like, they don't know because I don't think we sound alike. However, if she leaves a voicemail or something and I hear it because I'm not looking at her, she does sound like me. But also sometimes I think that my mom sounds like us too. So it's just weird, but it's only if I hear it on a voicemail. Like face to face, no, I can't hear it.
Yeah.
I can't. So I would say it was, I guess as normal as having a sibling is. We shared the same room the whole time. Not a funny story, but my mom said when we were young that we would be in a crib together, and I assume this is how we were in the womb. And she said we would wiggle until our heads like touched.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, what? So we're super close. In some manners alike, and some manners not alike. We have our own style, but we also have similar things that we like. Like I said, we grew up in the same room together, things of that sort. Now in high school, that was like a little different. She preferred to like dress up.
Yeah.
And even in middle school, where we had a 8th grade program day for the end of the year.
Yeah.
My mom had these like moth cream sweaters, and we had these like green giant color pleated skirts. My aunt got us every tights that matched the color of our outfit. So the tights was green, and she had on like some patent leather flats, and I had on some big men Colorado boots. So that tells you right there kind of how this kind of thing goes. So we had our own style. Like, of course she dressed us like when we were young, but we got to a point that the clothes were still fine, but then I preferred blue and my sister preferred pink.
Okay.
But we were never the ones, after a certain point, your parents let you pick your own clothes. They didn't always have to be alike. Definitely not in high school for sure.
Right.
Where I went to high school, it was 4 or 5 sets of twins. And it was one set of twins that wore the same thing. Each wore the same outfit every day throughout the whole high school, which I thought was kind of like whack, but why not?
Yeah. To each their own.
Right. So that was crazy, but that definitely wasn't us. I was wearing like just some crazy outlandish stuff sometimes, but when I was in high school in the 90s, baggy clothes was the shit. That's what was in. So, even though my sister was a little bit more prissy than me,
Mhm.
she had some baggy clothes. Not a lot. I had pretty much all of my clothes was baggy.
Right.
Like a guy. Had the boots. People wore a lot of overall. Checkerboard was in. You remember the Biggie checkerboard button-up like coat shirt?
Yep.
All of that stuff was in. So that's what I wore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think that's usually how twins go. Like they usually start off like the whole, because I don't know what it is about like, twins as kids. Like
Mhm.
the whole make them wear the same thing is cute for like a
Yeah.
long time. But
Yeah.
eventually it gets to a point where it's like this isn't cute no more. It's kind of weird.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So eventually y'all do end up like developing your own styles or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's always dope.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But like I said, we still will pick some of the same things.
Yeah.
And we've definitely shared clothes over the years. I mean, even sometimes now.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes how it goes.
Is that twin telepathy thing kind of real?
Not for us. It's not. Never. No. I know people that says it's real for them, or they felt the moment their sister was in an accident. We don't have that.
Gotcha.
Not at all.
Can you sometimes know what she's gonna say?
In the sense of we lived together for a very long time and shared the same room.
Yeah.
And so in the sense of that, because we're familiar and we were pretty much around each other all the time.
Yeah.
But I can't really say something for sure where I did something like finished her sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that it's not possible, but yeah, I can't say that we don't talk in unison like that shit. I'm not trying to say it's played out of like whack or like it's just fucking weird. Let me just say that.
I got you.
So no, we don't talk in unison or none of that. Nothing that I can ever remember. And although we did go to the same high school, we were in AP classes together, so majority of our classes were together.
Mhm.
We had two different sets of friends and
Yeah.
some shared friends. So it wasn't like
It was like y'all were around each other like all the time.
yeah.
Which is healthy, I also think.
Yeah.
Just because you kind of want to try to.
Yeah, I mean, in the AP classes, but we had like different homerooms and things like that, and we didn't have any, what do you call them, electives?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, we didn't have any electives together.
Got you.
So just like main course classes, a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So that means sister, and what do they call it? The Olsen twins. They lied to me.
I guess they did. Lie to you.
They lied to me.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Well, you might need some that, meet up to whatever they were saying, but.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely met some twins that they, you can tell that they hang out like a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like they can kind of, like, it's not like they're saying stuff at the same time, but they can he can kind of know what he's about to say, like jump in and finish the sentence and stuff.
Oh, that's
Which
probably
is, it's cool.
I mean, it's cool and weird at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 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 cool, but it's like I hope that they have like their same own personalities. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not defined by your brother or sister or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
That's the thing.
Yeah, we're definitely not defined by each other, but I know people that are though.
Right.
So
I've looked up Tempranillo.
okay.
I did want to know what it is.
Right.
So Tempranillo. Oh my gosh, I didn't want to look up Texas. Tempranillo is a black grape variety widely grown to make full-body red wines in Spain.
Oh.
So it's a type of grape.
Okay. In Spain.
Yeah.
And this is a Spanish red.
Yes.
So therefore, that's why it's in there. So we've learned something
Yep. See.
today.
Every now and again, I like to throw out some knowledge.
Okay.
Did I
Picked a good one.
Yeah, I rarely do it. So, I came here to get my hair done, man, and I just wanted to kind of, let's go through the process of how you do this. So, today we did the
apple cider vinegar.
the apple cider vinegar rinse. So, tell the people, like, what that kind of does for locs.
Okay, so the apple cider vinegar rinse is using apple cider vinegar, baking soda, and lemon. You can use fresh lemon. I just had the lemon that's in a little bottle. And it purifies your locks. It gets all the buildup out. It's good for you to do that at least once or twice a year. You let it soak, depending on how much buildup you have, for about 15-20 minutes. If you need another rinse, you can do it again. And it just cleans it out. It cleans the scalp really good, and like it penetrates through the locks. So that's what we did first. And then of course I went ahead and washed it, and now I'm in the process of retwisting his locks.
You know, I never understood that process. Like the retwisting thing, right?
Okay.
Like they don't come undone. So what part are we retwisting?
We're retwisting the roots because when I started your hair off, or with any hair that you start off, whether you are coiling it, whether you are starting with two-strand twists, or whether you are, I don't want to call it crochet, using a latch hook. When your hair starts to grow out from that style, it's loose. Like this is loose. So this hair is not combined together to make a lock. So when I retwist, that's what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
I'm putting product there and I'm retwisting this down so that this is going to eventually look like this, but it's never in the roots going to be all the way locked.
Gotcha.
If you are using a said crochet needle, but that's not right. If you're using the tool to do locks, you can get it pretty close to the scalp. But again, it's going to grow out, so that you keep going back to get it touched up. So that's what I'm doing, a retwist throughout your hair. And you didn't tell me if you wanted a style or not, but that's currently what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, so in this process usually takes about what? On a normal occasion, I guess.
Just depending on the person and how many locks they have. Like you have a lot of hair and a lot of locks, so your hair normally takes me a little longer to do, and I can't really count today because we're doing a video along with me doing it, so I'm not going as fast as I could. But I would say after it's been washed, well, because I'm thinking about the whole process, the retwist shouldn't take any more, depending, 30 minutes to about 45, and that just depends on, most of the time when I do a retwist, I'm styling at the same time. But if I'm just retwisting it without a style, that should be pretty quick, like a 30-minute type of thing. I mean, I also do my own hair, wash it, color it, and twist it and style it. So when I do my own hair, I know from the time I wash it until I retwist it. This is without a style per se. I can do it in an hour and a half.
Yeah. But see, that's the wild thing about when you told me that you do your own hair. I was talking that again. I was like, how is she doing that though?
Well, and if you think about it, like your locks already have their own part. So as long as I'm gathering all the hair that goes with that particular lock, I'm just putting a little product there and I am twisting the roots. This is already locked. So I'm not going all the way down and doing that. Once I wash it and use I'm just twisting the roots and I'm moving on to the next one.
Gotcha.
So it's not like starting from scratch where, sometimes that can take, depending on the size and, the technique that's being used, that could start off with being like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But can go longer.
Got it.
So it just depends.
Got it.
It just depends.
And you've had your locks for how long?
Since like 2005 or 2006, one of those years.
Sheesh.
Yeah, for a very long time.
And you've done no cuts or anything? Just
no cuts, but the hair that is growing from the locks, because it is, what I want to call it, I don't want to call it matted, but you do a retwist motion, and so it mats together to form the lock.
Mm-hmm.
After a certain point, just depending on the styles that you get, or because you're not combing your hair, so they some people refer to this hair as being dead.
Mm-hmm.
What ends up happening sometimes is that your ends could kind of start to separate a little bit.
Gotcha.
They could kind of start to get a little thin at the end. So I've never done a cut, but that has happened where I'm either cutting it off or trying, to save it.
Gotcha.
But with everything, as far as natural hair and having locks has come a long way from, us just having 1 to 2 products to having too many products where, a stylist may not even know which one to tell you to use because it's so many on the market.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are doing instant locks where they're using the tool and they're not even going through what some people consider all the phases, like the ugly phase when it's really short,
right,
and the phase where it's just not really doing anything for a style. People are going and getting the instant locks automatically, getting them the ones they want,
right,
getting the styles that they want. So it's come a long, long way.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
No more beeswax is really being used to do locks because that's what initially was being used.
I remember that.
With beeswax, it makes buildup really quick, and also it attracts lint to your hair. So back in the day, if you ever seen somebody and their hair looked linty, the beeswax is what was doing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's some misconceptions about locks? I know a lot of people, they would say that locks are dirty, quote unquote. So what's some misconceptions about locks?
Let me think about that because I think the misconceptions were really happening in the beginning when it was too and few people, with locks, and where now you can't go anywhere without seeing
right,
one person with locks. And the point of the matter is with them changing the law where they can no longer discriminate for natural hair, it shouldn't be any misconceptions at this particular point.
right.
But for instance, it's the guy that worked where we work at, corporate guy, locks, as long as they look neat, what's the problem?
Right.
It's always look neat.
Right.
Pull back, off of his collar.
Yep.
I don't see what the big deal was, but I know for a long time that was an issue because I don't think, I assume maybe they thought, unclean,
Yeah.
thug, ghetto, I am assuming that type of thing. But I can't really say there's any misconceptions about them now because they're widely accepted.
Yeah, they're very popular now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Kids are even doing what they consider the wick ones. Now, I don't know how people feel about those, but I'm not really sure that there's any misconceptions at this particular time. I don't think.
Yeah. I think that's good though, man. I think they're a neat hairstyle.
Right.
And
it's neat, it's versatile.
right. You can do a lot of different things with it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just remember early on that people it's dirty and
right.
Whatever. Typical pre-notions that people had about the hairstyle.
Right. Or and not only that, or the fact that people are just, some people might have been used to just seeing Jamaicans wear it. So you already know what they think about that. Mm-hmm. This is a third world country. These people are poor, or just thinking maybe most of them are Rastafarians because that's who was doing
right.
locks.
Yeah.
So I mean, other than that. Maybe in the beginning when people were getting locks, that maybe they weren't keeping them well maintained because some people don't like that look. Some people just like for this to free form. Maybe that was the thing.
I remember another one was that people thought that if you don't wash your hair, you get locks.
Right, and that was going to be another thing.
Yeah.
You wash your hair, it's just the same.
Yeah.
It's no different from anybody having any type of hair.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's time to wash, you wash it, whether it's dirty, whether it's been a while, whether it's oily.
Yep.
Same thing.
I know that was some of the early questions I had because I was thinking like, what if I wash it? And I don't know why I had to feel like I would wash them out, you know?
Yeah, like in the beginning, I get that because depending on the style that you're getting, you don't want to. If I'm coiling which is just kind of not kind of, it's grabbing a section of hair, taking a rat tooth comb, and then twirling it into what we consider a coil. Yeah, no one should wash their hair when it's in that state until a bud has formed.
Yeah.
Which means that the part of the hair has started to form into a lock. It's like a matting process. So yeah, no, I definitely would have been concerned. That's why I try to tell all my clients if they're doing it in the beginning not to wash their hair. Certain things that I ask them to do. If it's time or they can't wait, give me a call. If I'm available, I'll definitely go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to overwash it and over twist your hair. So in instances like that, sometimes you can use something like witch hazel, but they have all these dry shampoos just to kind of clean your scalp a little bit until your next retwist appointment is. So I understand that. Yeah. I definitely do.
I think the only other one, I guess, this is like this is a hot topic with a lot of people. When Caucasians get locks. What's your thoughts on that? A lot of people call it, they call it cultural appropriation.
Right.
What's your, I guess, thoughts on it?
I don't feel a way about it one way or another. I am not saying that locks are synonymous with reggae music, but they kind of are. Like,
I mean, that's what I feel like that's what I immediately think about.
Right.
Like when we were younger.
Right. When you were younger. I've definitely been to several reggae concerts, and I have seen more Caucasian than Black people. So I can kind of see how somebody would say that it's cultural appropriation. I don't feel a type of way about it in this time and age. Maybe back in the day, I probably felt a little something about it, but now I don't, and I rarely see people with locks.
Yeah.
White people with locks unless it's in magazines, and then even when I see it, because the hair is such a different texture.
Yeah.
The roots are straight, and then the locks are on the end, which doesn't really make for a good protection for the hair because it has to be pulling on the straight part.
Yeah.
So I think again now with the way natural hair and locks have now transformed, they can definitely get lock extensions where it'll catch it right at the top.
Right.
But again, it's a whole thing of the hair not being like our hair is, kinky, different texture.
Right.
Where
of course
they cannot just do like a regular twist. Someone is always gonna have to use a tool or something to make it kind of form into a lock. So kudos to them for it. It's definitely work.
Yeah, it's just different. You know?
Yeah, it's
I don't feel like a certain way about it. Now, if you get the locks and you start acting different and start acting a certain way, then I'm like, all right, bro. Like you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot right now. You know what I mean? So that's it's usually in conjunction with something else where I'm
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's really where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
You like to travel.
I do.
You are a big traveler.
Not as big as I want to, but I'll get there one day.
Right. What's some of your favorite places to go?
Anywhere with blue water and sand.
Okay. Okay.
Anywhere like that. I just recently came back from a cruise. Can you take your glasses off?
Yeah, I can. Yep.
Thanks. I just recently came from a cruise to the Bahamas for my birthday in April, and
oh yeah, we are April babies. Forgot about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, couple of days apart. Yep.
Yeah. So that was a very good time. I hadn't been to the Bahamas way before COVID. I think last time was in 2017. And so I had a really good time. Stopped at I think it was Coco Cay or one of them. Got my nice blue water, my hammock. my drinks,
Yeah.
all of that. I do like Jamaica,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, I've been to the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, I think.
Yeah.
Cancun.
Oh, yeah, you hitting all the spots.
Yeah. I've been in Jamaica twice. I've been to the Bahamas on a cruise at least 3 times. I guess I can count the time I went when I was like 13.
Sure.
And I have flown into the Bahamas to stay.
Gosh.
That's about it. I definitely want to go across the pond.
Okay.
I definitely want to. I used to want to go to. What's the place in the Middle East? I cannot call it.
Oh, Dubai.
Yeah, but that's no longer a top priority. I don't even know if I want to go now.
You like? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, initially, but no.
Just
I would rather go to Africa.
Sure, yeah.
That's definitely on my list, and I would definitely love to go to Italy, stay at a chateau and some grapes, and have a shower outside and roll down the hill naked. I mean, it would be like the greatest thing ever. I guess I watched too many movies.
What a very specific thing that you want.
It is, and I'm not the only one. So, I think I probably watch Under the Tuscan Sky too much, but I guess that should be Tuscany and not Italy. But whatever, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Same. In the same area, and if I go over that far, then I might as well make it a twofer, two for one, and so just try to figure that out. So I would love to do that. I just need, we're just kind of semi coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
I just want it to be safe.
Sure, yeah.
For COVID purposes and for any potential wars. I mean, I know Italy and Ukraine and Russia are not that close, but they're close enough on that side of the world.
Yeah, no, I get
what you're saying. Yeah, so I would love it.
Okay.
I would love to
so
go to Paris.
I was about to say Paris, France.
Yeah, but I don't really know. But a lot of people said, Paris is kind of dirty. I don't know what that. I've never.
I wonder if they mean it in the sense that LA is dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know, possibly. But that was a couple of years ago, so sorry, I don't want to offend anyone.
No. I mean, that's just what people have. That's people's opinion, not necessarily yours.
No, definitely not. Because I haven't been, and I definitely want to go.
Yeah. What do you think about Japan? Anything in there? That's my particular one that I would like to go to.
I haven't thought about it. However, I think one of my friends was in an executive program a couple of years ago, and he went to Thailand.
Okay.
And he was just saying that it was just like a regular city in the States, and because you just see these videos or these old videos, and you think a place is rural and it doesn't have anything going on.
Right.
But they definitely had a lot going on.
Yeah.
City was popping.
Right.
So I don't know if I would say Japan, but definitely I want to go over into an Asian country.
Gotcha.
So, but Japan, why Japan? That sounds very interesting.
Well, Japan, I've always been interested in Japanese culture, Asian culture in particular, but Japanese culture is one of my favorite things. So
wow!
I want to go Tokyo. I want to see the actual cherry blossoms there. I want to go to Kyoto and different places like that.
So awesome, dude.
I think that'd be just cool. Maybe hit some studios anime studios, stuff like that.
Right.
So I think that's something cool that I would like to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
One day.
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts on Australia?
As far as going, or?
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about going to Australia. I'm not against it. But it definitely wasn't anything that was on my bucket list.
It looks nice out there, right? It looks amazing. Looks like good weather. And a lot of do a lot of festivals out there and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's cool. The problem is that it's like Pokemon out there. The animals are all different. The spiders be like this big, bro.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, no.
You've been before, or you just?
No, I've always just seen different ones. And Australian accents are amazing. They're top.
Yeah.
They're top 3.
Yeah.
accents in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I see like a huge or like different type of animal, I'm like, I bet you it's in Australia. And every time I'm right, bro.
I probably haven't seen those particular videos.
Oh my god, it's nuts, man. Like just huge fighters just for no reason.
Wow.
Kangaroos, they boxers basically.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm cool.
But I think ultimately, everybody has their pick of where they want to go.
Yeah.
But I think anywhere you go, you can definitely find. For me, I definitely want to go and figure out what the culture is.
Yeah.
And all of that. I think going anywhere would be a blessing, and I would be fine with it if I'm learning about the history on top of having fun. And if it has a beach, then
that's the one right there. I think it's important just to enjoy the culture there, man.
Yeah.
Like they don't go just. I mean, if you want to go to a vacation just to rest and relax, then you could do that. You could do like in-state stuff. But like if you're going like you want to like actually enjoy the vacation, enjoy the place, just go out there and touch the culture, man. Try some of the cuisine.
Yeah.
See some of the landmarks. I think that's the cool part.
Yeah.
I like that part.
Yeah. Like I definitely would. I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about this place, but definitely would like to go to South America.
Okay. I've gone to Chile.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, we went every 4 years. Our basketball team would go. They do a trip to Chile. So I went going into my sophomore year or whatever. And now we went in the summer, which means it's cold down there. But really nice. We got to go to a couple vineyards.
Okay.
Had a lot of dinners. Tried a lot of the food there.
Okay.
Oh, and going to stuff that we have here, like fast food junks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's way better. Like Burger King had like this crazy like double chicken tender crisp thing that they had. I was like, dog, this is the greatest thing I've had in my life. The stores are like, so everything's pretty cool. We got to go to like the club.
Okay.
Walked in, they treated us like we were like celebrities. So like they DJ was playing like American set. I was like, dog, this is nuts. So it's cool, man. It's very dope, man.
Yeah.
So I would suggest it for sure.
Yeah. So what I was saying is I have mixed feelings because I kind of want to go to Brazil, but I kind of don't. I think I would like to visit Belize.
Okay.
I have to look into some other countries there.
Yeah.
Again, I just want it to be okay.
No, I get it. No, yeah, I get it.
Point blank and the period.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
So one place I did want to go when they opened it up, and I just kind of missed my chance. Was Cuba. When they had opened it up or whatever, and then Trump was kind of like, no, you can't go, only if it's for like business purposes. I don't really know what the rules are now, because I remember when he said that like a lot of cruises was already kind of going there, and I guess they kind of kept it, but I was kind of like, I don't know, because I don't really know what that means. Can I still go?
Right.
Type of deal. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah.
To go there.
Okay.
Yeah. I just had thought about that. Yeah. I was supposed to go with me and my sister, and then my other friend, and she has a twin, and we backed out, but they still ended up going. They had a good time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's dope. I can't do cruises, man. Sorry. I don't like open bodies of water.
I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I get it. I don't like I'm afraid of it. So, like being surrounded by water freaks me out.
Yeah, it was only a 3-day be only that.
Right, but that's nah. I can't do it, dog. I can't do it. Planes, cool. Trains, fine. Boats, nah. I'm cool.
So you're not even like getting on like, I don't know what you call them, like a little boat to kind of just chill on the water, have some drinks.
Absolutely not. I've done it once. I did it once. I went to Maine, where my homie lives.
Okay.
And it just happened to be his 10-year high school reunion.
Okay.
So I went, and they were doing a booze cruise. So it's like it's not a huge boat, but it's like a small, like a decent sized boat, whatever. And all it was just a quick little circle. and I was on there, but I made sure to stay in like an area where I was like, all right.
You had on a life vest?
No, I didn't know. I just made sure to stay in the middle of the boat.
Oh.
I drank and stayed right in the center, and then we got back. It was cool, and we shut down the bar. It was dope.
Oh, wow.
It was cool. And they definitely think I went there. Like
they were like,
yeah, man, I remember you. Like,
are you serious?
we do not look the same. But that's cool. Let's just roll with it. I took the yearbook picture and everything.
Oh, like they were saying you look like somebody specific in a book.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Nice.
So I'm in the picture.
Oh. Okay.
So that's fine. So
and this person just happens to be as tall as you are?
He's like 6'7", yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he plays professionally overseas.
Oh,
so he comes
nice.
back. He comes back every summer.
Okay.
And works out until it's time for him to go back home.
Go back. Okay.
So yeah, man. No, but Maine's another good spot too if you ever want to go somewhere.
Oh, really?
Maine's a nice place. Go during the summer, never go during the winter, obviously.
Yeah, like I don't want to die. I mean, not die.
You won't
like,
die, but you'll be
you'll
be stuck.
freezing.
Yeah, absolutely. But the summer, oh my gosh, hit up like the Portland beaches, amazing.
Really?
Got a little bar on the beach, man. Come on, man.
Okay.
Get yourself a lobster roll. Come on, dog.
Hot or cold?
The lobster roll? Oh, warm. Nice and hot.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Nice.
It's delicious.
Are we styling or we?
Yeah. Can I get the jumps I normally get?
What, braids?
Yeah, the individuals.
You want to stand up, take a break, or we end it?
No, I'm about to close now.
Okay.
So here includes, Tameka, we like to rate our wines and let people know if they should, get these.
Oh, okay.
So on a scale of 1 to 5 glasses, what would you give Caspania?
I'll give it a 4.
A 4? Okay. What do you like about the wine itself? Any flavor notes that you like?
I think, and maybe because I got ice in it, I like the flavor, but I feel like it could be a little bolder.
Sure. Okay.
As far as notes, let me taste this again.
Definitely grapey. I'll tell you that much.
Grapey, but maybe a little tobacco, like a hit.
I know they like to do that sometimes too. Tobacco, depending on where they put it at. I'll give it a 3. It wasn't bad. I think it's like they said, it's very food friendly. I'm
that's
sure.
what it said.
Yeah, I'm for sure. Like with a nice, meal was probably pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I can almost guarantee that for sure.
Okay.
Well, Tameka, thank you for being on the pod, man.
Oh, thanks for the invite. This was really fun.
Yeah.
First time, I wasn't nervous. Went good.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff. We talked about a lot of different things. You got to know about your hair history, man. And we learned about hair while we were here too. So it was an all around good thing, man.
Yeah, I learned some things about you too.
Yeah,
like you don't really do the water.
Yes.
And you went where in South America again?
Chile.
Several times.
Just once.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, you're saying that the team went every. Okay.
So like everybody usually gets to go because every 4 years. So as long as you stay on the team, you end up going.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's cool, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Now usually I let the guests give their socials, but you definitely don't have those. But if they were to want to get their hair done, is there a way to get in touch with you?
I would say right now, I'm not taking any new clients currently.
Suckers.
Sorry. Maybe I'll do another video and that may change.
Yeah.
Maybe Brandon, before he edits this out, may take a picture to see what the final look looks like. So at least it's a part of the video.
Yeah.
And we could come back around to that. But right now, I am not taking any new clientele. But thank you again for having me.
Yeah. Any closing remarks? What would you like to give? Any closing remarks to the people?
YOLO. So you know what I'm saying? Live it up every day. Don't wait. Don't pass up what you can do today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah.
They get it.
You put me on the spot. I'm like, wait, what am I saying? I know what I meant. But what did I say?
Yeah. Instagram page, Losing Your Podcast. Be sure to like and share the episode, and be sure to tell your friends. Tell them to follow the YouTube Clueless Creative. Be sure to give us a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Music. Helps with the algorithms. Yeah, man. But most importantly, don't forget to drink up.
I got the juice, don't need no proof. 100 like the rum I drink that got me over you. And all your nonsense we all subject to. I found my lane and mind my business like I'm supposed to do. Let's have a toast for all the obstacles that got us here. I put my glass up in the air to stimulate the cheers. Not because we made it, but because we making it. I savor the moment, the bouquet forever evident. Yeah. In my realm, I watch the times go by. I got the world in my hands, but I can't tame the sky.